If you come across this car on a red light, on a traffic signal, and if you decide to play around with it, trust me, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose bad. Hello everyone, this is B Chow and welcome back to my channel. Today with me I have a build which has been made by the same mad people who've built the previous car, the previous Polo, which you loved and enjoyed watching. I am of course talking about Nikunj and N1 Performance. What these guys have done this time is worked a little different with their magic. This is a Polo 1.2 MPI, at least what it was when it was new, which has now had a engine swap with a 2-liter TDI and a DQ250 gearbox. So on the outside it looks like a pretty normal Polo, of course not a pretty normal Polo, but something which has been modified a little bit aesthetically. You've got aftermarket headlights, there's a complete R-line body kit on this car. Along with that, it also has Team Dynamic wheels. Now you'll not be able to see it, but underneath over here this car is running a K-Sport adjustable coilover kit. Along with it you can see the brakes, which is much larger than anything you will find on a Polo. These are also from K-Sport as well. This is their big brake 330mm brake kit. And this badge over here, which means it's been running a Super Chips map, a custom map. I'm going to get into a little bit details about that later. Then you've got aftermarket tail lights. Then over here we've got a custom made exhaust which is running on MagnaFlow mufflers. Before I get into the details of this build, I'll show you its performance and what it can do. I'm going to quickly take you on a small short tour of N1 Performance to show you the kind of stuff they are building over here. There is something really important and interesting. So as most of you guys know, N1 is not just about building street cars, but also building race cars. These guys run cup cars. They are part of the Indian Touring Car Championship as well. So this is one of their race car along with another one which is over there. These are two race spec cars, both of them run by their team. Then over here there is a very special build which is going on. I don't want to put out a lot of details about this car because I want to actually show you this car when it is done and ready. Since the engine is out, you can get an idea what's getting made over here. Then again, there's one more touring car over here. This is also part of their Indian Touring Car Championship cars. There's an Octavia which is getting worked on over there. This is basically a car which is getting detailed. Over here, this is a very interesting build, a E30, which is kind of running a custom body kit. And that's not the only thing custom about this car, because in here, there's actually a 2JZ. Lots of more interesting things to come regarding this car, so stay tuned. This car is going to get completed in the next few months. We're going to have some interesting stuff about this car as well. Okay, then over here, this is Anand's personal car. Again, a stage 3 APR tuned car, putting out some mad power. It's basically a street build. Then over here, you must have seen this car on my Instagram channel. This is, say hello to the boys. These are the hard-working guys behind the scene who make sure that each and every car comes out with the maximum performance, but at the same time, great reliability. So over here, we've got a Vento, which is again a swap running a 1.8 liter engine. Great looking car, good build. There's a lot of stuff which is done on this car. You got to check out my Instagram video for this. This over here is Tarun's personal car, which again looks stock from the outside, but actually is a stage 3 car. This thing is pretty mad. I've covered this on my channel. Go check it out. I'll put the link in the description for this build. Then on this corner, we have something really special. This is another project which these guys are working on. The Golf is about to get ready. Actually, it's going to be a few months before this build project is ready. We're going to cover this as well at a later point. So stay tuned and watch out. So there's this which is going to be covered very soon. Then there is this which is going to be covered very soon. You're going to really enjoy what this is going to come out as. Very special build. Probably one of a kind in the entire country. Then also look out for this one. We're going to cover this soon as well. Now, getting back to the Polo. So on the inside, we have a replaced Maxi Dot instrument cluster. Then the steering wheel is from a Volkswagen Jetta, which has pedal shifters on it. And then there's a little bit of customization going on with regards to the seat. But more or less, everything is pretty stock and pretty normal on the inside. That's not the point of this car, because this car is not, I mean, of course, with those wheels and that pure white paint and the diffusers and the R body kit, it of course looks special, it looks unique. But the main point about this car, all the money spent is here. This used to be a place where there used to be a 1.2 litre MPI engine residing, which has now been completely thrown out, and in place of it now we have a 2 litre diesel which has been mated to a pipe across air intake. Now the best part about this swap is that all the engine, the transmission and everything is part of a package where you have the 2 litre engine. Along with it, you also have the transmission which corresponds to it. So instead of the manual which this car used to come with before, now we have a DSG. This is the DQ250, by the way, not the unreliable, scary DQ200. So this is a high torque capacity load bearing transmission which is going to be able to take a lot more torque. In terms of the tune, these guys are running a super chips map. The map which these guys are running is a custom map. What that means is they are not basically using an off-the-shelf map, but instead the map has been specifically made or retuned and sort of fine-tuned for this particular build. So the good example of knowing how that was done is this car in its peak performance puts out about 193 horses and about 467 Newton meters of torque, according to the dyno which they have over here. This is their in-house dyno over here. The car has been intentionally detuned a little bit to produce about 185 horsepower. The reason behind that is the owner of this car, who's commissioned this entire project, wanted a car which is first of all a daily driver. This car is going to be driven daily. Secondly, he wanted a car which is a good balance between performance as well as day-to-day fuel economy. So that is the reason why the tune has been detuned a little bit to be at 185 horsepower. And an additional advantage for that is that being a diesel, there used to be a lot of smoke coming out of the back pipe, and that would sort of mess around with the compliances. Now with the new tune where it's putting out 185 horsepower, that smoke has also been addressed to a large extent. Okay, now I've given you a lot of information about the build, its details. I think it's a good enough time now to actually get behind the wheels, take this car out and see how it actually performs and drives. First impressions driving this car is that everything feels very, very seamless. What I mean by that is it doesn't feel like the engine has been swapped. It doesn't feel like you're running a gearbox from a different vehicle. Everything feels very seamless, very well connected to each other, as much as if factory setup. It's only when you start pushing then you realize, and that too not from the combination of parts and vibrations etc. By the delivery of the power is how you realize that this car is something different. And what I mean by that is this: put your foot down, and you're already doing some mad speeds. It's still very smooth. It's still something which can be used completely as a daily driver. And the whole reason this build has been made is that the person who's commissioned this build is going to use it on a day-to-day basis. It's going to be going from home to office, to meet friends, to other places. It's just that if you come across this car, I'm of course not showing you the number plate, that's where the secret and that's where the playful part is. If you come across this car on a red light, on a traffic signal, and if you decide to play around with it, trust me, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose bad. Because on the outside it looks like a stock Polo. It's just that when the owner puts his foot down, he's going to leave you miles behind, okay? And that's the beauty of this build. So seamless. When you're in the city, when you're driving normally in traffic, you don't feel anything. You don't feel like you're sitting in an engine swapped car. The temperatures are normal. There are no lights. The gearbox isn't jittery. There's no lag anywhere. It just feels such a normal experience on the day-to-day drive. This is why builds like this are so special, because they are kind of the ones that offer you best of both worlds. Whenever you want the performance, you know you always have it. It's just one throttle input away. And when you want to drive normally, you can totally drive it normally. It's brilliant. Also, the acceleration in this car is very linear. It's not abrupt. It's not that the turbo is suddenly coming and, you know, spooling out all its power. It's in a very civilized way how the power gets delivered to you. And what that means is that you can use all of this power almost all of the time whenever you want. It's a very, very smooth, very subtle, yet powerful and fast experience. Also, when you're driving normally on good roads, the suspensions feel completely pliant with it. The car is not jumpy. The suspensions don't feel that like they're too harsh. They're set up in a way where they can take our Indian roads, Mumbai roads, with ease. You're sitting comfortably over here, you're driving at decent speeds, and even when the speeds get higher, the suspensions actually provide great amount of stability in this car. Cornering is something which I haven't seen yet, but going by the overall dynamics of this car, it will be easily able to provide you good handling and good dynamics. That was an insane experience. To sit in something which looks and feels so normal, but at the same time, when you put your foot down on the pedal, it actually brings out some raw, mad diesel performance. What do you think about this build? Do let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please do follow me and check out more content that's going to be following soon. I know I have not been very regular with YouTube. I've unfortunately been stuck between a lot of different projects, but trust me, I am trying to bring you as much as content as fast and as quickly wherever I can. And that's the reason you will find me a lot more active on Instagram as of now. But trust me, I am putting more and more efforts to come back on YouTube and come back with full force. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you back in the next one. Till then, goodbye.